Hello! I'm gonna share with you guys 3 of the tips that really helped me to truly understand my skin over the course of 10 to 15 years that I've been going through and overcoming my acne, especially hormonal acne. And it actually took a combination of all 3 of these to really get to know my skin. So the purpose of this video isn't to create more confusing skincare rules, but to actually spark inspiration or motivation for those of you to create your own life-changing habits for better skin. Because we can all learn from each other's experiences. So here's mine. Number 1, just kiss. No, not like that. Keep it simple, silly. Ro and I are definitely guilty of this. Back when we started the channel, we were so excited to learn about the magical benefits of AHA, BHA, vitamin C. And how many times have we over-exfoliated our skin?
Too many.
And how many times have I overused acne ingredients? Let's not talk about it. So, the 3 most common ways I've realized we irritate our skin is through using a percentage that's too high for what we really need, combining ingredients that don't need to be mixed together, and just using too many products at once. So rather than trying to figure out what went wrong like this, here are my kissing rules. If you just got a new product or you're trying something new, you want to simplify everything else. So that means in your routine, you should only have products that you've already used before that you know your skin loves and just introduce one at a time. So if anything mysterious happens, it's a simple process of elimination. Then with specific ingredients, always start with a low percentage to begin with, even if it tells you that it's suitable for all skin types. So here's a little guide. For niacinamide, most studies say that anything between 2 to 10% is effective, and so you can look for anything within that range. Then for retinol, even though retinol is more gentle for sensitive skin compared to something like retinoids or retinaldehyde, if you see that it's 0.1 or 0.2%, that is generally the starting point, and anything that has 1 to 2%, that's normally a little bit more intermediary, so just start slow. Then for vitamin C, we all know that L-ascorbic acid is the gold standard for brightening, but it can also be really irritating because it's low on the pH level and therefore acidic. And so you can actually look for vitamin C derivatives instead if you have sensitive skin like me. There's tetrahexyldecyl ascorbate, and let's just call this THDA for short, magnesium ascorbyl phosphate, ascorbyl glucoside, and ascorbyl tetraisopalmitate. Or if you want a different brightening ingredient altogether, you can look for alpha-arbutin or even ferulic acid, because these have been tested and studied to also give very similar results. Then if you're acne prone like me, you might have heard of benzoyl peroxide, and honestly this scares me. It gives me a rash every time and I just don't suit it. So I would actually say you can try using either a retinoid first or the adapalene different gel, because it controls the sebum, controls acne, and you don't need to go the benzoyl peroxide route because it can really dry out your skin. One of Shakespeare's most popular quotes was, "Too much of a good thing." And it means that the quality of something is relative to its quantity, which basically means even the best things can be terrible for us if we use it too frequently or it's used in overabundance. I knew he was more than just good looks. We are what we... Our brains and bodies are like a sponge. It absorbs everything that we consume and put on, whether that's the skincare we use, the shows that we're watching, relationships we have, and of course, the foods we eat. If we fill our minds with negative thoughts, then on the outside we might seem stressed, unhappy, tired. And if we fill our bodies with inflammatory foods, then we're also likely to see inflammation on our skin. And what's going on inside is called oxidative stress, and it's one of the biggest factors that speeds up pigmentation and premature aging of our skin, including things like dryness, wrinkling, and sagging. And if you already have eczema like Ro or acne like me, these are inflammatory skin conditions that can actually worsen. One of my biggest tips is, I would say, make yourself a wellness basket. Let me first start off with my little health drinks. actually is a brand called Pique, and Ro and I have been enjoying their drinks and their little delicious like immunity boosters and skin boosters for years now. And actually on my recent trip to Paris, I brought these two with me, and they're the Radiant Skin Duos. So this one is the Sun Goddess Matcha, which is obviously matcha packed full of antioxidants and health benefits inside and out. Love green tea, we'll get to that later. And then there's also the BT Fountain, and this is actually a beautiful electrolyte drink. I have to show you because she is gorgeous. And the cool thing is they're all pre-measured, so you don't really have to like fumble around, and it's like one packet is one serving. And guys, when you add water, she is beautiful. Do you see this? So you just add it to room temperature water or cold water, and it just instantly dissolves. And then it's slightly sweet, slightly tart. It's like a berry mix kind of flavor. Electrolytes really hydrate the body from the inside out. And then the Sun Goddess Matcha, you can also just have on the go. This one you do need warm water to prepare. Similar to that one, you can actually just add it into your drink bottle or just a cup that you have. Add a little bit of warm to hot water. Stir it. Sometimes I like to add a little bit of honey, but otherwise, their trees are also shaded for longer, which means it generates more chlorophyll for those clarifying and like benefits for the body. And for a limited time, Pique's offering 15% off plus 2 bonus gifts, which is this beaker and a frother when you shop with the link. So get on that. Ding! So next one is along the same green tea line, but it's not matcha. It's actually our green tea. We just came out with it, so just wanted to show you guys. It's this beautiful green tea, which is different from matcha because matcha is the whole grinded tea leaf, while green tea is the leaf itself. So when you steep it, all these beautiful benefits of green tea, like soothing inflammation, everything that we talked about inside happens in and from the leaf. So it was hand tied, hand wrapped, and when you put it into water, it starts blooming open, and it was really just like signifying our individual growth process. So we created this in collaboration with the Chi, and Ro and I are super excited. Every night, Thomas and I drink tea when we like wind down. The caffeine doesn't really make a difference to us. Next is probiotics. So in our fridge, we will always have these staples. And why you want to start incorporating these into what you eat in your daily kind of like meal routine is that probiotics helps to reduce inflammation, it improves digestion, it also helps with calcium and magnesium absorption. And if you're like me and you have symptoms of PCOS or you just have hormonal imbalance, it also helps with insulin resistance. And so probiotics are super important. So this is kimchi, which is a really great probiotic. And then there's miso, there's also yogurt, and then there's also gherkins or pickles. These are the cornichons, and these are also a great source of probiotics if you want to help your skin inside out. Have these staples in your fridge too. Third and final is set the mood. So as someone who loves using emojis and has hormonal acne, this has been one of the more life-changing realizations or tips. Every feeling we have is tied to a specific hormone. And it's really about how we balance our feelings and emotions that can give us truly clear and glowing skin. So here are the 3 main ones. Feelings like stress, confusion, anxiousness, impatience, or anger all increase a hormone called cortisol. Then if we're feeling happy or excited, this relates to the 5 happy hormones: dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, oxytocin. And then if we're feeling sleepy or drowsy, this is related to melatonin. And seeing as stress affects everything, let's look at how it actually affects our skin. So stress equals cortisol. And when there's increased cortisol levels, it makes our sebaceous glands produce more oil. And so if you already have oily skin like me, that means you're more prone to more breakouts and more acne. When we're stressed, we can't sleep. And when we can't sleep, we have bad skin. And then when we're stressed, we're not happy. And then we get even more stressed. So here are the 2 things that I do to help eliminate stress. First is breathe. All medical experts know that there's a direct connection between how we breathe and our heart rate. And this links back to how our brain processes stress.
Simply controlling our breath, again, even if it's fast, from inhale to exhale and making sure that we're alternating inhales and exhales rhythmically. And what you'll find is that you'll be able to navigate that what would otherwise be a very stressful circumstance and make it less stressful or maybe even pleasant.
So what you want to do is inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Longer exhales will slow down the heart rate if you want to be more calm. Then shorter exhales will actually speed up the heart rate. Let's say if you want to get more energy because you're exhausted. And you can do these breathing exercises for about 20 to 30 times or cycles, and you'll like instantly feel the difference. So the rule of thumb I try to follow is a 1-to-2 ratio. So inhale for 1 count, exhale for 2. So that means I inhale for 3 seconds, then I exhale for 6. And it might be a little bit awkward or challenging at the beginning, but learning this kind of rhythm is really good for slowing down the heart rate and just helping with stress. So and then it also makes you realize that we don't even use a lot of our lung capacity, and there's a lot of like stagnant air in our lungs. And then when you start to do this, it also, you can feel it in your brain. I'm not kidding. It really helps. So depending on what you want to combat, you can really use your breath as a tool. Like, you know how, I don't know if you guys have gone to Pilates and they're like, you do those like thingies on the ground. So that's actually to get your heart rate up so you feel more energetic. If you're feeling a little bit tired or lethargic, shorter exhales will actually speed up the heart rate. And you can actually do this anywhere, whether it's at home, on your couch, at your desk, at the office. Like, it's one of the most powerful tools. The second one is a light daily exercise. So something as simple as going on a 10 or 15 minute walk after a meal can really help to rebalance your hormonal imbalance. Research shows that a walk, especially after eating, has significant advantages for blood sugar, and it can actually help lower your blood sugar levels by enhancing insulin sensitivities. And this is something that I found really helped with my like daily habits and skin and just like overall mental clarity. And I actually talked about more of these kind of like exercise tips in the previous video, so you can click here if you want to know more. So it's so important to take control of our brains and our bodies that lead to truly transformed skin, relationships, and just our overall growth. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe and like, and thank you for watching. We'll see you really soon. Kiss!